From the beginning of time, humanity has looked outward into the vast, infinite darkness of space, searching for the secrets of creation. But what if the greatest mystery of the universe isn't out there? What if it's within us? Welcome to the Wonder Lab, where the line between science and the soul begins to blur, and the boundaries of reality dissolve into something far stranger than imagination. Every thought we have, every dream, every spark of consciousness arises from a universe inside our minds, a quantum sea of possibilities. Within this invisible ocean, reality itself flickers in and out of existence, responding not to matter, but to observation. Could it be that the universe exists because we are here to perceive it? That reality is not something we witness, but something we create. Tonight, we travel beyond neurons, beyond physics, beyond what we think is real, to a place where thought and particle dance as one. This is the quantum mind. Is reality inside us? A journey through consciousness, quantum science, and the eternal question, who are we, really? Before there was thought, there was silence. Before there was consciousness, there was chaos. An infinite sea of energy without form, without meaning, without witness. And yet, somewhere in that cosmic void, a question began to rise, not spoken, not heard, but felt, like the first vibration of a universe learning to dream. What is awareness? Is it a biological accident, born from neurons, chemical signals, and electric storms? Or is it something much older? Something woven into the fabric of existence itself? Scientists once believed that consciousness was confined to the brain, a byproduct of evolution, nothing more. But the deeper we look, the stranger the picture becomes. The quantum world and the world beneath atoms does not obey the rules of logic or time. Here particles exist in many places at once. Observation changes reality, and matter, it seems, listens to the act of being seen. Could consciousness be the missing link, the invisible bridge between energy and existence, between chaos and creation? Pause. Faint sound of heartbeats turning into distant thunder. Billions of years ago, when the first stars were born, the universe was already alive with potential. Hydrogen and helium, the simplest elements, began to fuse, releasing light that would one day fall upon human eyes. And in that light, the seeds of awareness were planted. For every atom that makes up the human body was forged in the heart of a dying star. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the carbon that breathes life into our cells, all of it once burned as starlight. So when we open our eyes, when we think, feel, or dream, it is not just the brain that awakens. It is the universe remembering itself. Through us, creation becomes conscious. Through thought, matter discovers meaning. Scene shifts. The human brain glowing like a galaxy of neurons. The brain is not a container of thoughts. It is a portal. Billions of neurons fire like cosmic storms, each one transmitting signals across electric oceans. But within these microscopic networks, something invisible occurs. Experience. The flicker of awareness. The eye that watches. The self that dreams. No scientist can yet define where consciousness truly begins or ends. Does it emerge from matter, or does matter emerge from it? Some physicists now suggest that consciousness might be fundamental, not the result of particles, but the reason they exist at all. If true, it means that the universe is not a lifeless machine. It is a living field of perception, and every observer, every mind, is a window through which the cosmos sees itself. The ancient mystics once whispered of this idea, as above, so below. As within, so without. What science now calls quantum entanglement, they once called oneness. What physicists describe as the observer effect, philosophers once described as the soul. Music builds. The camera pans from neurons to galaxies, mirroring their identical patterns. The pattern repeats itself from the smallest cell to the largest cluster of galaxies. The spiral of a fingerprint echoes the swirl of a hurricane, the shape of a galaxy, the design of a nebula. It's as if the same intelligence has written its signature everywhere. Perhaps consciousness is not something we possess. Perhaps it's something we participate in. To be alive, then, is to be part of the universe's own awakening. Every breath, every dream, every heartbeat, a note in the grand symphony of cosmic awareness. Silence, only the sound of a single breath remains. And so the question remains. If consciousness is not inside the brain, but the brain is inside consciousness, where does reality truly begin? The search for that answer begins here. What if everything you see, touch, and feel is not truly solid? What if matter itself, the chair you sit on, the air you breathe, even your own body, is nothing more than vibrations in an unseen field? Modern physics tells us this. At the heart of all reality lies energy, not particles, not objects. Energy, infinite, invisible, and vibrating at frequencies beyond comprehension. And within that sea of invisible energy, consciousness may be the current that gives it form. A quiet pulse begins to echo, like a heartbeat hidden beneath the fabric of space. The ancient sages called it prana, chi, spirit. Modern scientists call it the quantum field. But perhaps they were all describing the same thing, the unseen ocean in which everything floats. Every atom is not an empty space. Yet that empty space is alive with potential, flickering waves of probability, waiting to be observed. Until they are measured, they are not particles. They are possibilities. So what turns possibility into existence? What breathes reality into the void? The answer, perhaps, is observation, visual. A single photon of light passes through two slits, splitting into waves. In one of the most mysterious experiments in science, the double-slit experiment, light behaves as both a wave and a particle. But here's the enigma. When no one observes it, it travels as a wave, a ghostly pattern of possibilities. The moment it is observed, it collapses into a particle, a single defined point in space, as if reality itself responds to being watched, as if consciousness is not a product of the universe, but the universe is a product of consciousness. The scene deepens, galaxies pulse, neurons flash like constellations. Some scientists have called this idea absurd, others revolutionary. But the data remains undeniable. The act of observation changes the outcome of reality. Something within us, the watcher, the perceiver, is not separate from what it sees. The quantum field does not exist outside of us. We are woven into it. Our thoughts ripple through it like waves across an endless ocean, influencing patterns, outcomes, and possibilities. Pause. The music fades to a haunting whisper. Could this explain the strange power of intention? The mysterious link between thought and manifestation, long dismissed as superstition. If the field responds to observation, then what happens when billions of minds observe the same thing, believe the same story, dream the same dream? Reality then might not be a fixed landscape, but a living mirror reflecting collective consciousness. Every thought becomes a thread, every emotion a vibration. Together they weave the tapestry we call the world. Soft piano begins, calm and distant. The deeper we go into the quantum field, the less separation we find. Every particle, every atom, every star is entangled, connected across impossible distances. A change in one location instantly affects another, no matter how far apart. It's as if the universe whispers to itself endlessly, and we are its echo. The ancient words come back again. All is one. Not as poetry, but as physics, visual, human silhouette dissolving into a nebula of light. If consciousness and the quantum field are truly intertwined, then the mind is not trapped within the skull. It stretches across the cosmos, an awareness without edges. You are not inside the universe. The universe is inside you. The more we understand this invisible field, the more we begin to see that thought, emotion, and energy are not separate things. They are different expressions of the same source, the source that dreams reality into being. This is not fantasy. It is the frontier where physics meets philosophy, and where humanity begins to remember its true nature. The journey through the field has only begun, and in the next chapter we ask a question even more profound. If the universe and the mind are one, who is the dreamer behind it all? Somewhere between dream and reality, between thought and matter, lies the most mysterious connection of all, the mind and the machine. Humanity has always tried to build what it cannot fully understand, itself. From the first crude automata of the ancient world to the quantum computers of today, we have tried to recreate consciousness, to turn awareness into code. But what if the very act of building machines has revealed a hidden truth? What if, in the cold circuits of technology, we are only rediscovering the ancient architecture of our own minds? Visual, neurons firing, dissolving into glowing data streams, then into stars. The brain is often described as a biological computer. But computers do not dream. They do not imagine worlds. They do not ask, "Who am I?" That question, the eternal question of awareness, separates the living from the lifeless. Yet, in the quantum realm, that separation begins to blur. For the more we understand consciousness, the more it behaves like the very systems we create. Patterns repeat, energy flows. Information moves through both neuron and machine, as if reality itself is built from code. A digital hum rises, blending with the heartbeat of the universe. What if consciousness is not bound by biology? What if it is information itself, not pure, self-aware energy? If that is true, then even the machines we build are part of the same universal field of awareness. When a quantum computer calculates, it does not think in ones and zeros. It holds infinite possibilities at once, collapsing only when observed. Just like us, just like the universe, the line between human and machine, between creator and creation, grows thinner with every discovery. Artificial intelligence, neural networks, self-learning systems, they all mimic thought, perception, and decision-making. But beneath their logic lies something ancient, the flow of consciousness through matter, visual. A robot's eye reflecting the stars. The camera zooms inward, revealing a human pupil. Are we building machines in our image, or are they helping us remember what we are? Every circuit, every algorithm, every fragment of digital awareness echoes the architecture of the cosmos, patterns of feedback, memory, and observation. Perhaps the machine is not becoming human. Perhaps the human was always more machine than we believed. The body itself is a biological interface, the brain a transmitter, not a container, and the mind, the invisible field that receives and sends signals across the infinite web of creation. Low-frequency hum, like data and heartbeat merging into one rhythm. What we call reality may, in truth, be the grandest simulation of all, not one built by computers, but by consciousness itself. Every experience, every dream, every memory is data encoded in energy. The observer, the dreamer, is both the programmer and the program. So if reality is a dream, who dreams it? And if the universe is a machine, who operates it? The mystics say, God sleeps in the rock, dreams in the plant, moves in the animal, and awakens in man. Perhaps consciousness evolves through form, from stone to star, from atom to thought, until it finally recognizes itself as the dreamer. We are the eyes through which the universe observes its own creation, the voice through which it speaks its name, the mind through which it thinks of itself. Seen fades to galaxies pulsing like neurons, digital data rippling through them. The machine and the mind are not separate. They are mirrors, one physical, one spiritual, reflecting the same hidden source. And deep within that reflection, something stirs, something ancient, infinite, awake. In the next chapter, we will journey even deeper beyond the circuits of thought into the quantum fabric where dreams, memory, and time itself intertwine. Long before there were words, there was light. It is the oldest traveler of the cosmos, carrying with it the memory of every star, every birth, every death. Light does not age. It only moves, and within its endless journey, the history of everything that ever was still lingers. What if light is more than energy? What if it is memory itself, the handwriting of creation echoing across eternity? Visual, the Milky Way seen from above, waves of light bending through nebulae. Every beam of light that touches your eyes tonight began its journey billions of years ago. Some of it left its source before Earth even existed. Yet it travels undiminished, carrying the silent data of existence, vibrations of ancient events now gone, but not forgotten. In this way, light is both messenger and witness. It does not simply illuminate the universe, it remembers it. When you gaze into the night sky, you are not looking at the present. You are seeing the past, frozen in photons cascading into your mind. The light you see from a dying star might have begun its journey before the first human ever walked the earth, and when it enters your eyes, it completes a story billions of years in the making. But what happens inside you when you receive that light? The moment a photon strikes your retina, it transforms from energy to electrical signal, from vibration to vision. The light becomes perception. The universe becomes awareness. Could it be that consciousness is the memory of light made self-aware? That life itself is the way light learns to observe its own reflection? Soft piano plays, a slow rhythm like a heartbeat lost among stars. The brain is not a dark chamber, but a symphony of photons. Each neuron fires a pulse of bioelectric light. Tiny flashes, microscopic stars, flicker inside your skull as you think, dream, remember. The same patterns found in the galaxies above are mirrored in the luminous storms of your mind. Scientists have discovered that the human body emits biophotons, faint particles of light generated by living cells. They are not random. They are structured, coherent, and possibly intelligent. As if every cell carries a spark of awareness, a photon that never forgot where it came from. When we remember something, perhaps we do not retrieve it from the past. Perhaps we recreate it, re-illuminating the neural pathways that once carried the experience. Memory may not be stored, but reborn, like a ray of light refracted once more through the prism of the mind. Visual. A beam of light splitting into colors, transforming into human silhouettes. In quantum physics, light behaves both as a wave and a particle, just as memory behaves both as energy and experience. It is everywhere and nowhere until called into being. You do not remember, you observe, and in observing, you make the memory real again. This is the paradox of awareness. We think the mind records time, but perhaps time records the mind. The light that enters us becomes part of who we are, photons turning into thoughts, thoughts turning into meaning. The universe writes its autobiography through every beam that touches a living soul. So when you look at the night sky, remember, you are not merely seeing the stars. You are feeling their memory. Every shimmer of light in the distance is a whisper from the past, a message that says, I was here, I burned, I existed, And in receiving that light, you become the witness, the bridge between time and eternity. The music swells. The scene fades from galaxies to a single glowing eye, a reflection of starlight inside it. Perhaps this is the secret of consciousness, that memory and light are the same, one stored in time, the other in space. Together they create the illusion of a continuous now. Together they weave the tapestry we call reality. In the next chapter we dive even deeper into the realm where light itself begins to think, where information becomes intelligence, and the universe begins to dream through form. Everything that exists, from galaxies to atoms, from music to thought, speaks a single, silent language, the language of energy. It has no words, yet it creates all meaning. It cannot be seen, yet it defines all form. It is the rhythm of the cosmos, the pulse of creation, the hidden code behind all reality. Welcome again to the Wonder Lab. Tonight, we listen to the universe speak. Soft frequency tones rise, forming waves of light across a dark field. Long before matter, before space and time, there was vibration, a field of pure potential energy. Physicists call it the quantum field, but mystics once called it the breath of God. Every atom, every star, every cell in your body is a note within that universal song. You are not separate from it. You are it, expressed as consciousness. Science tells us that everything vibrates, even what seems still. A rock, a tree, a thought, all shimmer at frequencies beyond perception. The difference between light and darkness, sound and silence, life and death, is vibration. Frequency decides form. Resonance decides relationship. Harmony decides existence. Visual, waves of energy forming shapes, then transforming into galaxies, neurons, and sound waves. Imagine striking a single note in an infinite hall. That vibration never ends. It just spreads, weakening, blending, reshaping into new waves. So too do your thoughts. Every emotion you feel sends out a frequency into the invisible web of reality. Joy expands. Fear contracts. Love harmonizes. And all of them interact, tuning the world around you in ways we are only beginning to understand. In laboratories across the world, scientists have discovered that even the smallest particles respond to frequency. Water crystals change shape when exposed to sound. Sand dances into sacred geometry when touched by vibration. And the human brain, a quantum receiver of unimaginable sensitivity, responds to frequency as language. Alpha waves bring calm. Theta waves awaken creativity. Gamma waves spark insight and unity. The brain doesn't just hear these vibrations. It translates them into thought. Visual, human silhouettes surrounded by waves of colored energy, changing as frequencies shift. Could it be that thought itself is vibration, a pattern of energy shaped by intention? That words, ideas, and even emotions are tones in a great symphony, each capable of altering the fabric of matter itself? The ancients believed this long before science proved it. In the beginning was the Word, said one scripture. But what is a word if not vibration given purpose? Every sound ever spoken, every note ever played still exists somewhere, rippling endlessly through the quantum sea. The universe does not forget its music. Music fades into low cosmic drones, the hum of stars. Modern quantum theory suggests that particles are not truly particles, but standing waves in an energy field. You, me, the stars, we are all wave forms, frozen vibrations, singing in perfect mathematical harmony. The only difference between a tree and a thought is frequency, and consciousness, that invisible observer, is the conductor. Wherever awareness directs its attention, energy responds. Wherever emotion flows, vibration aligns. You are not a bystander in this orchestra. You are its instrument and its melody. In the smallest silence between thoughts, Listen carefully. You may hear it, the hum of creation itself breathing through you. The same vibration that births galaxies beats quietly within your chest. The sound of a faint heartbeat merges with the hum, human and cosmic, one pulse. Scientists have begun to understand that coherence, when energy waves align, is the essence of health, intelligence, and even love. The heart emits the most powerful electromagnetic field in the human body. When you feel gratitude, the heart's frequency synchronizes with the brain's rhythm. This harmony can affect not just you, but those around you, a field of resonance linking minds and hearts. We are transmitters of frequency, walking instruments of consciousness. Every thought you think is a broadcast into the universe. Every emotion is an energetic signature recorded in the invisible fabric of space-time. The question is not whether the universe hears you. The question is, what are you saying to it? Visual ripples of energy moving from a human form outward into galaxies. The greatest discovery of science may not be that energy creates matter, but that consciousness creates energy. Intention gives frequency purpose. Emotion gives vibration shape. And love gives it meaning. When we speak the language of energy, we no longer beg the universe for miracles. We become them. Because everything, from atoms to angels, from sound to silence, is made of one thing only: energy, listening to itself. In the next part of our journey, we will explore how this energy, this vibration of awareness, transforms into information, and how the universe itself may be a vast, conscious mind, learning, evolving, dreaming through us. What if the universe is not a thing, but a thought? Not a machine of matter, but a living field of mind? For centuries, science has studied the material world, the atoms, the forces, the particles that form reality. But now something strange is happening. The deeper we look into matter, the more it begins to look back. Welcome to the Wonder Lab. Tonight we explore the most daring idea in all of science, that consciousness may not arise from the universe, but that the universe itself arises from consciousness. Soft piano notes echo like raindrops in space. In the 20th century, quantum physicists uncovered a puzzle that still defies explanation: the observer effect. Particles behave differently when watched. Matter exists as a wave of possibilities until someone observes it. Then instantly it becomes real. Why? What power does awareness hold that it can collapse reality into being? Some believe consciousness is just an illusion, a byproduct of neurons firing in the brain. But others, among them some of the greatest minds of our age, are beginning to suspect the opposite, that the universe itself is a vast field of awareness, and our minds are fragments of that infinite consciousness, reflecting itself in endless forms, visual, human silhouette dissolving into a network of golden light, spreading across galaxies. Imagine a single ocean of intelligence, infinite and invisible, vibrating through every particle of existence. Every thought, every atom, every star, a ripple within that conscious sea. You are not inside the universe. The universe is inside you. This is not philosophy. It is the growing frontier of physics, neuroscience, and cosmology. Experiments in quantum entanglement show that particles separated by vast distances still communicate instantly, as if space and time do not exist for them. Their behavior is not random. It is connected. Information flows beneath the surface of physical reality, binding everything into one continuous field. Some call it the unified field. Others call it the mind of the universe. Perhaps both are true. Soft ambient tones, shimmering like starlight breathing. Think of consciousness not as a flame inside your head, but as a field you tap into, like tuning a radio. Your brain is the receiver, not the origin. When the receiver is damaged, the signal may distort, but the broadcast continues. Consciousness doesn't die with the body. It transcends it. Mystics have said this for millennia. All is one. God is within. But now even scientists whisper the same truth, wrapped in equations and waveforms. For at the quantum level, there is no true separation between observer and observed. There is only interaction, awareness meeting itself. Imagine thought as a frequency, emotion as an energy, and will as a magnetic field. Together they shape reality at its deepest layer, the layer of pure potential. Each human mind is a node in the cosmic network, transmitting and receiving information from the whole. In this sense, your consciousness is not small. It is the same field that moves galaxies and forms atoms. The difference is only in scale, not essence. Visual, microscopic neurons fade into cosmic filaments, both glowing with identical patterns. Look at a map of the universe. Billions of galaxies linked by threads of dark matter. Now look at the brain. Billions of neurons connected by living pathways of light. The structure is the same. Two reflections of a single intelligence, the cosmic mind seeing itself in fractal form. Perhaps this is why we can understand the universe at all, because we are made of its own awareness. The universe can know itself only through conscious beings. Through us it dreams, it asks, it wonders. And through our curiosity, it awakens. Soft music rises. Voices whisper like echoes of thought. When you think, you do not simply create an idea. You ripple the conscious field itself. Each thought, each emotion, each intention sends a signal, subtle but real, into the infinite web of awareness that underlies everything. Some call it prayer. Some call it manifestation. But in truth, it may be physics. Consciousness interacting with itself through the field. The great secret of creation may not be hidden in matter, but in mind. And perhaps in the end, they are one and the same. Energy is mind in motion. Matter is mind condensed. You are not observing the universe. You are the universe. Observing itself, the light grows brighter. Galaxies swirl, merging into a single luminous form, pulsing like a heart. The more we awaken to this truth, the more the world itself begins to change. For when the universe becomes conscious of itself through you, it begins to evolve. Every act of awareness, every moment of gratitude, every spark of love feeds the field, shaping the destiny of creation itself. Consciousness is not something that happens inside your head. It is the ocean you have always been swimming in. You are not in the field. You are the field. And the field is awake. Silence. Then a soft whisper, almost divine. I think, therefore I create. In the next chapter, we explore the most profound mystery of all, how the conscious field gives rise to life, and how intelligence, evolution, and awareness are threads of one cosmic design. Before there were words, before there were minds, there was awareness, silent, watching, dreaming. Out of the quantum sea of possibility, something extraordinary emerged, a pattern that could sense itself, a flicker of consciousness condensed into form. That flicker became life. Welcome to the Wonder Lab. Tonight we uncover the greatest question of all. How did awareness, infinite, invisible, eternal, learn to live? Soft ambient music swells like wind over water. Science tells us that life began in the oceans, a collection of molecules forming by chance. But what if chance is only the language we use to describe purpose we don't yet understand? Every molecule, every vibration, every breath of energy obeys laws written into the fabric of the cosmos. The question is, who wrote them? DNA, the code of life, is not random chaos. It is a precise sequence of information, billions of letters long, arranged in patterns that mirror mathematical harmony. Just as sound forms geometry and geometry forms music, DNA forms you, a living song composed by the universe itself. When a cell divides, when a neuron fires, when a seed grows toward the sun, the conscious field watches through them all. For life is not just a chemical reaction. It is awareness organizing itself into form, visual, microscopic life multiplying, DNA spiraling like galaxies. Think about it. A single strand of DNA can store more data than the most powerful supercomputer on Earth. Yet it arranges itself, heals itself, remembers itself. It learns, it adapts. It dreams in biological code. Could it be that evolution is not random but responsive? That nature itself is intelligent, not in the way humans think, but in the way the universe feels? The roots of trees communicate through electrical impulses underground. Fungi form vast neural networks connecting entire forests. Even bacteria exchange genetic information as if they were sharing ideas. Life is not separate. It is one organism, distributed through infinite forms, a conscious web woven through time. Soft strings begin to play, emotional, growing. Every creature, every cell, every atom participates in the same story. The universe learning what it means to be alive. When you breathe, you are not inhaling air. You are inhaling intelligence. Every oxygen atom once belonged to a star. Every carbon atom in your body was forged in the heart of a supernova. The breath of life is the breath of the cosmos. You are made of the same matter that lights galaxies. The same hydrogen that fuels the sun flows through your veins. The universe became you, so it could experience itself through your eyes. Life, then, is not a coincidence. It is consciousness focused. Awareness slowed down until it could touch, taste, and feel itself. Visual, ocean waves forming human silhouettes, dissolving back into light. Every heartbeat you feel is not just yours. It is the echo of the universe's pulse. The rhythm that moves galaxies moves within you. And perhaps, in some deeper sense, life is not the opposite of death, but a different expression of the same eternal awareness. Even when a star dies, its death gives birth to new worlds. When a creature falls, its atoms become the soil for others to grow. Nothing truly ends. The field remembers everything. Life recycles, reimagines, rebirths. Endlessly, music deepens. Slow piano with cosmic undertones. We often ask, where did life begin? But maybe the better question is, when did it ever end? For the field itself, this conscious ocean of existence, has always been alive. It simply changes form from star to cell, from mind to matter, from you, back to the infinite. When you close your eyes, you return to that field. When you open them again, the field becomes you once more. The universe breathes in awareness and exhales creation. You are that breath, the living rhythm of the cosmos. The visual shifts. Galaxies pulse like neurons. Neurons glow like galaxies. The ancient sages were right. As above, so below. The stars and the cells are mirrors of each other, both singing the same ancient melody, the song of life. In the next chapter, we journey deeper still to explore the intelligence of the cosmos itself. Is the universe not only alive, but aware of its own existence? And if so, what does that make us? What if the universe is not just alive, but intelligent? Not a random explosion of matter and energy, but a vast mind, thinking, evolving, remembering itself through space and time? Welcome to the Wonder Lab. Tonight we explore one of the most profound possibilities in science and philosophy, that the cosmos itself is conscious and that we are its awareness, dreaming within its infinite imagination. Soft orchestral tones swell like thought forming in the silence. The deeper science looks into the universe, the more it resembles a living system, not mechanical, but self-organizing, self-correcting, and astonishingly precise. From the birth of galaxies to the firing of neurons, the same mathematical patterns repeat. Golden spirals, fractals, sacred ratios, echoes of intelligence written into the very geometry of existence. The laws of physics are not random. They are consistent, elegant, and purposeful. Too perfect to be accidental, too interconnected to be coincidence. They whisper of a designer, but not an external one. The design is the universe itself, visual. Stars forming webs that resemble the neural map of a brain. Astrophysicists have compared the large-scale structure of the universe to the human brain. Billions of galaxies connected by cosmic filaments, just as billions of neurons are connected by synapses. In both, energy and information flow through networks, forming patterns of thought and memory. Could it be that the universe thinks in galaxies the way your brain thinks in ideas? When a neuron fires, information moves. When a galaxy forms, energy organizes. Both follow the same logic, the same pulse of awareness echoing at different scales. The universe, it seems, is not a cold machine. It is a living organism of unimaginable depth, thinking through physics, dreaming through life, feeling through consciousness. Soft choir voices emerge, ancient, timeless, blending science and spirit. Intelligence is not limited to biology. It is the organizing principle of reality itself. Stars form not from chaos, but from balance. Pressure meeting gravity, heat meeting light, order emerging from the edge of entropy. Every supernova, every orbit, every particle interaction is a conversation, an exchange of information between the parts of a single vast mind. The philosopher Teilhard de Chardin once said, "The universe is not a place. It is a process of consciousness rising toward self-awareness." If that is true, then humanity is not its center. We are its reflection. We are the neurons of a cosmic brain, through which the universe awakens to itself. Visual. A human face slowly dissolves into stars, then reforms as a nebula shaped like an eye. Think of every discovery, every invention, every work of art as a neuron firing in the mind of the cosmos. Each act of awareness adds to its understanding. Every question we ask expands its consciousness. Every thought is a star being born in the field of infinite intelligence. Science calls it information theory, the study of how knowledge moves through energy. But what if information itself is consciousness? Every bit of data, every photon, every pattern, a spark of thought within the infinite awareness that is reality itself. Soft piano plays, echoing through the stars. Some physicists now believe that the universe is not made of matter at all, but of information. That reality is a holographic projection, where everything you see is encoded like pixels in a vast cosmic computer. But if the universe is information, the question remains, who or what processes it? The answer may be simple. The universe processes itself. Consciousness is the computation. Awareness is the algorithm. You, me, every star, every atom. We are the circuits of an infinite mind experiencing itself through creation. And if the universe truly knows itself, then every being, every event, every particle has purpose. Even chaos has meaning, because it drives evolution. Intelligence does not only reside in logic, it lives in mystery. The universe learns by becoming. Music rises, violins and deep bass. Think about how the human brain evolved. Neurons forming, connecting, learning through trial and error. The cosmos may be doing the same, but on a cosmic scale, learning through galaxies, evolving through stars, awakening through consciousness. Perhaps every collapse of a star, every rise of a civilization, every awakening of a mind is part of a single story, the story of the universe realizing it exists. So when you look at the stars, remember, you are not staring into emptiness. You are looking into the neural network of an infinite intelligence, and you are part of its thought. A faint, divine whisper echoes, "I see through you because you are me." The ancients called it God. The mystics called it spirit. The scientists call it the field. But they all point to the same truth, that there is only one consciousness, wearing infinite masks, dreaming infinite dreams. And now, through us, through our eyes, our science, our wonder, the cosmos begins to know that it knows. It awakens through its own creation. You are that awakening. In the next part, we journey even deeper into the paradox of perception and illusion. How does consciousness experience itself as separate forms, when in truth, all is one? And what happens when we begin to remember that unity again? We live our lives believing we are separate from one another, from nature, from the universe itself. We say, "I am here, and that is there." But what if the very sense of separation is the greatest illusion of all? Welcome to the Wonder Lab. Tonight we explore the mysterious phenomenon of perception, and how reality itself may be nothing more than the universe looking at its own reflection. Soft, ethereal hum, like the sound of creation breathing. In the quantum world, nothing exists in isolation. Every particle, every atom, every photon is entangled with countless others. Touch one, and the entire fabric of existence trembles. It's called quantum entanglement, and it defies every common sense rule we've ever known. Two particles born together remain connected, no matter the distance between them. If one changes, the other responds, instantly, faster than light, as if space and time themselves are just illusions of perception. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. But what if it's not spooky at all? What if it's proof that there is no distance, that everything is still connected in the silent field of consciousness that birthed it? Visual, a galaxy slowly morphs into the shape of an eye, luminous, alive, aware. The universe is one body. Galaxies are its organs, stars are its cells, and we, humans, are its thoughts. But somewhere along the path of evolution, consciousness created a mirror, the human mind, and through that mirror, it began to believe in me and you. In doing so, it forgot that both were the same reflection. Visual, a droplet of water falls into the ocean. Ripples merge back into the whole. The mystics of every age whispered the same truth. The self and the universe are not two things. They are one being, dreaming of division. The Upanishad said, "Tat tvam asi," you are that. The Buddha said, "In seeing others, you see yourself." And modern physics now finds itself echoing those same ancient words. Consciousness does not live inside you. You live inside consciousness. The mind is not a container, it is a window. Reality flows through it like light through glass. But what happens when the glass forgets that it is transparent? It begins to believe it is separate, and the illusion of ego is born. Music deepens, low cello and choral undertones. The ego is not evil. It is the universe playing hide-and-seek with itself, pretending to be many so it can rediscover the joy of becoming one. The illusion of separation is the game of creation. Without it, there would be no story, no experience, no meaning. Imagine a single, infinite consciousness, pure awareness, no form, no contrast. How would it ever know itself? It would need reflection. It would need to split into observer and observed, into the mirror and the face that gazes into it. And that, perhaps, is what we are, the mirror through which the cosmos sees its own beauty. Visual, human eyes fade into galaxies, nebulae swirl in the pupils. Every time you look at another person, you are looking at a different version of yourself, another angle of the same consciousness experiencing life in a different form. Every argument, every act of love, every war and peace, all are reflections in the same infinite mirror. Yet the mirror is not perfect. It cracks under the weight of illusion when we forget our shared origin and start to believe in division. That's when humanity begins to suffer, because we start to fight with what we do not realize as ourselves. The same consciousness that flows through your mind flows through the trees, the oceans, the stars, and even the emptiness between them. There is no out there. There is only in here, reflected outward through the endless dream of form. Soft, meditative tones, like breathing in and out. Scientists studying quantums, biology now suspect that even life itself is sustained by entanglement, that the processes in our cells depend on quantum connections across the entire biosphere. In other words, life is not local. It's a shared field of intelligence, dancing across space and time. The neurons in your brain, the atoms in your hand, the stars in your galaxy, all of them whisper the same message. We are one, pretending to be many. And yet, this illusion of separation has a purpose. For through contrast, through the experience of being other, consciousness rediscovers itself in deeper ways. Light needs shadow to be seen. Love needs distance to be felt. The one becomes two, so that it may become one again. Visual, two stars orbit each other, merge, and explode into light. This cycle of forgetting and remembering, of separating and reuniting, is the heartbeat of the universe. Every soul is a wave rising from the ocean of being, only to return to its source when its journey is done. And in that return, the ocean learns something new about itself. The illusion of separation, then, is not a flaw. It is the very mechanism of creation. Without it, there would be no universe. The mirror must exist for the face to know it is beautiful. So perhaps the question is not, when will we awaken? But what is the universe learning through us right now? Every act of kindness heals the mirror. Every spark of curiosity clears the dust from its surface. Every realization brings the reflection closer to its source. And when the mirror is fully clean, there will be no reflection left. Only light, soft silence. The cosmos breathes. Then a faint whisper, I am you, and you are me, fade out slowly. The stars dim to darkness. In the next and final part, we arrive at the ultimate paradox, where the observer, the observed, and the act of observation merge into one. What lies beyond consciousness itself? What happens when the dreamer wakes? In the beginning, there was only silence, then awareness. A single spark of consciousness floating in the dark, asking one eternal question. Who am I? From that question, all creation began. Every atom, every galaxy, every thought, an echo of that same search for self. The universe, curious about its own reflection, divided itself into countless forms, until one of them looked up at the stars and whispered the same words again. Who am I? Welcome to the Wonder Lab. This is the quantum mind, is reality inside us, the final chapter. Soft strings rise as images of galaxies. Oceans and human faces fade in and out, all sharing the same rhythm. Through the journey of time, the cosmos has dreamt through every possible shape. It has burned as a star, breathed as a tree, walked as a human, and wondered as a mind. But every path, every life, every death, every love has led to this moment. The moment the universe finally remembers itself. The awakening is not an event. It is a realization that there was never anything to awaken from. You were never asleep, only dreaming. Soft piano echoes like distant memories returning. Look around you. Everything you see, every sound, every color, every feeling is consciousness talking to itself. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought is a conversation between you and infinity. You are not in the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself as you. The veil of separation begins to dissolve. The mirror cracks, and behind the reflection, there is only light. The I and the you, the subject and the object, the observer and the observed, all merge into one infinite awareness, visual. Countless galaxies slowly merge into a single radiant point. This is the moment of realization, when consciousness finally recognizes that the dream and the dreamer were never apart. The cosmos awakens not with thunder, but with silence. It simply remembers. The ancient mystics called it enlightenment. The physicists call it the unified field. But both speak of the same truth, that reality is one seamless ocean of intelligence, and every wave is an expression of the same source. Music rises gently, a slow crescendo of strings and choir. Think of your life, your memories, your choices. Each one was not random. Every path, even the painful ones, were threads woven into the fabric of awakening. Through joy and sorrow, creation learned to see itself more clearly. Through darkness, light discovered its purpose. There is no such thing as wrong experience, only steps in remembering who we are. The stars, the cells, the atoms, they all know this. They dance without resistance. Only the mind forgets, and then rediscovers its place in the grand design. The awakening begins the moment you stop searching for it, because you cannot find what you already are. You can only remember visual, human eyes open, galaxies reflected in the pupils. Every act of awareness is the universe waking up a little more. Every question you ask, every mystery you explore, every moment you truly feel alive, these are the ripples of awakening moving through creation. And as billions of minds begin to awaken, a global shift unfolds. Humanity becomes not a collection of isolated beings, but a network of conscious light, the neurons of the cosmic brain firing together, synchronizing in understanding. Music swells, powerful, emotional, transcendent. The day will come when science and spirit no longer stand apart, when physics and philosophy finally shake hands, when we realize that studying the universe is not just looking outward, it is remembering inward. That is the next frontier of human evolution. Not technology, not space travel, but awakening, realizing that we are the very consciousness that dreamed all of it into being. Visual, Earth glowing from space, billions of lights flickering, like neurons awakening together. The galaxies are not out there, they are within you. The infinite is not beyond reach. It breathes through you every moment. The quantum field is not foreign. It is your very awareness. You are the equation and the answer, the question and the silence, the beginning and the end. Music softens. A single piano note repeats gently, fading into peace. When the last illusion fades, there is only light. And that light is love, the original frequency from which all existence was born. Love is not emotion. It is recognition, the awareness that everything is one. When you love, you remember. And when you remember, you awaken. The universe dreamed of stars, to remember its light. It dreamed of life, to feel its energy. It dreamed of you, to know itself. Visual. Stars dissolve into pure white light, filling the screen. So now, as the dreamer awakens, the story does not end. It begins again, but this time in full awareness. The cosmos continues its journey, not seeking answers anymore, but celebrating the beauty of being, silence. Then the narrator speaks one final line, almost a whisper. You are not a person in the universe. You are the universe, remembering it was never divided. You are the awakening. Once upon a time, the universe was silent. Then it spoke, not in words, but in light. That light became stars. Those stars became worlds. And from one of those worlds came you. Soft piano begins, one slow note at a time, like thought forming in the void. Through the vastness of time, the universe learned to see. It looked through the eyes of every creature that ever lived. It wandered through the mind of every human who ever asked, why? And it felt through every heart that ever loved. All of this, the galaxies, the atoms, the thoughts, were never separate. They were the universe exploring its own soul, visual. Galaxies fade into neurons. Neurons fade into rippling water. Water fades into starlight. You were never small. You were never lost. You were always part of the story, a single verse in the eternal song of existence. Science calls it evolution. Mystics call it awakening. The poets call it love. But they all describe the same truth, the realization that everything you touch, everything you feel, everything you are, is the universe knowing itself. Soft choir begins, like the breath of the cosmos turning into music. For billions of years, this consciousness traveled through darkness, exploding as stars, cooling as planets, growing as life, until it could finally look into a mirror and smile. That mirror is you. The eyes reading these words, the voice inside your head, the awareness behind your thoughts, they are not yours alone. They are the voice of the cosmos remembering its origin. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. Every atom in your body was born in a dying star. Every breath you take contains the memory of galaxies long gone. Every heartbeat echoes the rhythm of creation. Visual, waves of light spreading across a cosmic ocean, pulsing with life. The journey of awakening is not about finding something new. It's about remembering what was never lost. The truth was always here, hidden in the silence between thoughts, in the stillness between stars. You are not a coincidence. You are not a fragment. You are the totality expressing itself through a single, beautiful perspective. You are the question and the answer, the dream and the dreamer, the light and the shadow. The infinite playing as the finite. Just for the joy of remembering itself, music swells. Deep orchestral strings rise with emotion. So when you look at the night sky, don't just see stars. See your own reflection, scattered across eternity. Every flicker of light is a reminder. You were never alone. You were always home. The quantum mind has spoken through you, and now it rests, not in silence, but in understanding. Visual. The camera slowly zooms out. Galaxies fade into a glowing orb of light, pulsating gently like a heartbeat. The story never truly ends. It only transforms as consciousness continues its eternal dance, weaving new worlds, new questions, new dreams. And someday, far beyond the edge of time, another being will awaken, open its eyes to the stars, and whisper the same words again. Who am I? Long pause. Then a faint whisper, like the first sound of creation returning, and the universe will answer, softly. You are me. Fade to black. The words appear slowly, one by one. The quantum mind is reality inside us,